It was late, the night still and heavy. In the Garden of Gethsemane, beneath the twisting olive trees, the Son of God knelt in agony. He prayed, not in fear of man, but in the weight of what was to come, the cup of suffering, the cross, the burden of the world's sin. And yet he said, "Not my will, but yours be done." Then torches flickered in the distance, footsteps approached. A crowd, soldiers, temple guard, led by Judas, a friend turned betrayer. With a kiss so cold and calculated, Jesus was marked. The lamb handed over to wolves. The disciples reached for their swords. Peter struck first, cutting off the ear of the high priest's servant. But Jesus, calm, composed, divine, said, "Put your sword back in its place." And then he healed the man who came to arrest him. He turned to his disciples and said something that echoes through eternity. "Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels?" A legion was 6,000 soldiers, 12 legions, 72,000 angels, more than enough to destroy every enemy, every nation, the entire earth. One angel in the Old Testament struck down 185,000 soldiers in a single night. But Jesus didn't call them. The King chose the cross instead of the throne. He chose suffering instead of escape. He chose us over comfort, power, unimaginable power, surrendered in love. He was not arrested because he was weak. He was arrested because he was willing. As they bound his hands, the hands that healed the sick and calmed the seas, he was silent. As they led him away, the one through whom all things were made did not resist, because he had already chosen the path. Not the path of ruling, but the path of redeeming. Not the sword, but the sacrifice. Not to be saved, but to save. And that was the beginning of our salvation.